All right, so you're getting ready for a serious motorcycle trip,
Mm-hmm.
and safety is obviously a big thing you're thinking about.
Of course.
Smart move.
Yeah.
You sent over some research you've been doing,
Right.
including this article called The Ultimate Motorcycle Safety Checklist for Long Rides.
Okay.
It's by K.R. Andre,
Mhm.
published December 10th, 2024.
Got it.
And we're going to dive deep into this
Okay.
because long rides, like you're planning,
Yeah.
they're incredible. You get so much freedom,
Totally.
but they just demand a different level of preparation
For sure.
than just a quick spin, around town. We're
Right.
talking about being out there for a long time,
Yeah.
dealing with whatever weather you run into,
Right.
and handling any kind of potential problems that could come up,
Yeah.
mechanical issues.
Exactly. And the more prepared you are
Right.
for all those things,
Yeah,
the more you're really going to enjoy the trip.
that's for sure.
You can just focus on having fun and not worry about what might happen.
I love it. So by the time we get to the end of this deep dive,
Yeah.
you'll have like a rock solid safety checklist
Nice.
to make sure this trip is both like thrilling and safe.
Awesome.
So let's just start with the foundation,
Right.
gearing up.
Makes sense.
The article really hits this point home about how the right gear isn't just about protecting yourself, God forbid something happens,
Right.
but it's about staying comfortable and being ready for literally anything.
Yeah. Mother Nature can throw at you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing how many riders
I know, right?
only think about, if they crash
Right.
and they forget about being uncomfortable,
Yeah.
which can make you tired and distracted.
Yes.
And that's dangerous too.
Absolutely. If you're battling like a helmet that doesn't fit right,
Oh, yeah.
or your fingers are freezing off, you're not going to be riding your best.
Nope.
So the article lays out like the must-haves, a certified helmet,
Of course.
no compromises there.
Absolutely.
Then a good durable jacket and pants.
Yep.
With armor, gloves
Yeah.
for grip and protection, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and over-the-ankle boots for stability.
Makes sense.
Now, they also mention weather-specific gear,
Right.
like rain suits
Yeah.
and thermal layers.
Yeah.
Because you just never know
That's true.
when that sunny ride might turn into like a frosty adventure,
Definitely not.
right?
And don't forget about being seen.
Oh, it's huge.
High visibility gear.
Yes.
Especially at dawn and dusk.
Important.
The article really emphasizes
Yeah.
inspecting your gear before you head out.
Got it.
It's easy to forget about.
Right.
But worn out gear,
Yeah.
that's a liability.
For sure. All right, so we've got you decked out in the right gear.
Okay.
Let's make sure your bike's ready for the long haul, too.
Absolutely.
The article has this really detailed pre-ride inspection checklist,
Nice.
but it's not just about checking things off a list.
Oh.
It's about understanding why these checks are important.
I see.
For instance, your tires. They're your only connection to the road.
Literally.
The article highlights tire pressure, tread depth, overall wear,
Mm-hmm.
because those things directly affect your bike's grip
Right.
and handling.
Makes sense.
And then you've got your brakes, your lifeline when you need to stop.
Totally.
Checking your brake pad wear and fluid levels is like non-negotiable.
Yeah, you should never skip that.
No way.
And, a lot of riders, especially those with newer bikes,
So yeah,
they think, oh, my bike's new. I don't have to worry about that stuff.
I know it's so easy to think that.
But even small issues
Right.
can turn into big problems.
Especially on a long ride.
Exactly.
So it's all about being proactive,
yes.
catching those little things
Yeah.
before they become big headaches.
I like that.
All right, speaking of smooth rides,
Okay.
the article really emphasizes
Yeah.
your chain and sprockets.
Okay.
Now, for those who are newer to riding, sprockets are those toothed wheels that your chain wraps around,
Alright.
and they work together to transfer power from your engine
Uh-huh.
to the rear wheel.
Yep.
So you want them clean,
Of course.
you want them properly lubricated,
Yeah.
and with the right tension
Okay.
for optimal power delivery.
Got it.
Trust me, a neglected chain can really mess with your ride.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of things that might seem minor,
Yeah.
the article mentions checking your kickstand
Oh,
or center stand.
it's easy to overlook,
It is.
but a faulty stand
Yeah.
can lead to your bike tipping over,
Oh, yeah.
which can cause damage and potentially even injury.
Definitely.
Great point.
Thanks.
And then the article recommends packing a basic toolkit
Okay.
and a tire repair kit.
Yep.
It's always a good idea to be prepared
Yeah.
for minor issues on the road.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to be stranded,
Nope.
miles from civilization with a flat tire.
Definitely not.
Speaking of being stranded,
Oh,
let's talk about route planning.
okay.
This is where things get really interesting.
Right.
The article emphasizes that planning your trip is about so much more
I bet.
than just knowing where you're going.
Right.
It's about reducing stress
Okay.
and anticipating challenges.
I like that.
So you can just enjoy the ride.
It's all about transforming that potential stress into a sense of freedom and adventure.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
having that plan,
Yeah.
knowing where you're headed, where you'll fuel up, when you'll take breaks.
It makes a huge difference.
It really does.
It really does. Now the article suggests mapping out your route with regular fuel stops, rest stops, and even like potential points of interest.
Right.
This is especially important on long trips.
Yeah.
Because you want to avoid getting fatigued.
Definitely.
And stay focused on the road.
And you know it's a great chance to really personalize your trip.
Oh, for sure.
Like maybe there's a diner you've always wanted to check out.
Yep.
Or a scenic overlook for a photo op.
I love that.
Planning those stops in advance, it can make the trip even more enjoyable.
It's like creating your own little adventure roadmap.
Exactly.
Now, the article also mentions identifying gas stations.
Okay.
In more remote areas.
Right.
This is crucial if you're going off the beaten path a bit.
Yeah.
You don't want to be caught in the middle of nowhere with an empty tank.
For sure. And remember that tip about sharing your route with someone.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Especially if you're heading off the grid.
Yeah.
Let a friend or family member know your plan just in case.
It's like a virtual safety net.
Exactly.
Even when you're exploring those remote areas.
I like it. And in this digital age we live in,
the
article recommends weather apps.
Oh, yeah.
And downloading offline maps.
Sure.
You never know when you'll lose service.
Especially in the mountains or the desert or something.
It's all about being prepared.
So you can check the forecast, adjust your route if you need to.
And navigate with confidence even if you're off the grid.
Exactly. All right, so we've got the route planned.
Okay.
The bike's checked.
Yes.
But what about all the essential gear you'll need on the road?
Okay, let's talk packing.
This is where Packing Smart comes in.
It's an art form.
It is.
Yeah.
The article really stresses packing for emergencies. Comfort and basic repairs.
Got it.
It's all about that balance, you know,
between
being prepared and not overloading your bike.
So they recommend a first aid kit.
Of course, that's essential.
Non-negotiable.
Then tools like a flashlight, batteries.
Okay.
A multi-tool rain gear in case of showers.
Yeah.
Snacks and water to keep your energy up.
Of course.
And those thermal layers, you know.
Always got to have them.
It's amazing how much those few things can cover.
I know, right?
Sudden downpour, roadside repair, staying hydrated and energized.
It all makes a difference.
It really does. And the article reminds us to pack smart.
Okay.
Distribute the weight evenly.
Right. Avoid overloading the bike. Gaia. And stick to the essentials.
Makes sense.
Overpacking can impact your bike's handling.
Yeah.
And just make the ride less enjoyable.
It's about prioritizing.
It is. Do you really need that extra pair of shoes?
Right.
Or can you make... Every ounce counts when you're on a motorcycle.
All right. So we've got you geared up.
Well.
The bike's ready. The route is planned.
Yeah.
You're all packed. But what about preparing you, the rider?
Oh, that's a good point.
For the long haul.
That's an aspect that often gets overlooked.
Yeah.
Long rides can be demanding.
Yes.
Physically and mentally.
It's like training for an athletic event.
Exactly.
You wouldn't just run a marathon without preparing.
Got to get your body and mind in shape.
Totally.
For the challenges ahead.
So the article emphasizes hydration,
of course,
nutrition, and sleep.
Super important.
Before you even start.
Yeah, you want to start the journey feeling refreshed and energized.
Absolutely. They also recommend stretching before and during the ride.
Makes sense.
To prevent stiffness and fatigue.
Even simple stretches can make a big difference.
It's about listening to your body.
It is.
And taking care of yourself.
Throughout the journey, now the article also talks about the mental side of preparation.
Interesting.
Visualizing your route.
Okay.
Anticipating potential challenges like traffic or weather or road hazards. And adopting a defensive riding mindset.
That mental preparation can really make a difference.
You've already thought about those scenarios?
Right.
So you're more likely to stay calm and react effectively if they happen.
Okay, so speaking of handling situations on the road.
Yes.
Let's talk about defensive riding.
All right. This is where it all comes together.
It's a cornerstone of motorcycle safety.
For sure.
Especially for those long rides. Yeah. Where you're exposed to traffic and hazards.
For a long time.
It's about being proactive. Right. Not just reacting.
Anticipating those potential dangers.
Exactly. And the article gives some good examples of what this looks like in practice.
I'm listening.
So maintaining a safe following distance is crucial.
Absolutely.
You got to give yourself enough time to react.
If the car in front of you slams on their brakes...
Then using your headlights day and night
Yeah.
increases your visibility, avoiding blind spots,
Right.
continuously scanning the road ahead.
It's all about being aware of your surroundings.
It is checking your mirrors, paying attention to sounds, anticipating what other drivers are going to do.
Exactly. And the article also talks about obeying speed limits.
Of course.
Using your turn signals.
Right.
Communicating your intentions. And trusting your instincts.
Okay.
If something feels unsafe, adjust your speed or position.
You got to stay in control.
And, you know, it's not just about protecting yourself.
Right.
It's about making the road safer for everyone.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. Reduces your risk.
Yeah.
Helps create a more predictable environment.
For other drivers, cyclists, pedestrians.
Everybody.
Now, even with the best preparation and the best defensive riding skills, emergencies can still happen.
That's true.
So let's wrap up
talking
about emergency preparedness.
Right. It's all about having a plan and being ready to adapt.
Even when things don't go as planned.
Exactly. It's that peace of mind, you know, knowing you've taken those extra steps.
Just in case.
So the article suggests carrying those essential documents.
Okay.
In a waterproof pouch.
Oh, yeah.
Driver's license, insurance registration.
Yeah.
You don't want those getting ruined if you get caught in the rain.
No way. It's also wise to have a list of emergency contacts.
Definitely.
Roadside assistance, a trusted mechanic, people you can count on if you need help.
Exactly. And if you're heading out to more remote areas where cell service might be iffy, consider a satellite phone or an emergency beacon. That way you can call for help. Even if you're miles from the nearest town.
Those can be lifesavers.
They really can, especially if you're going off the grid.
And for riders with any medical needs.
Right.
The article talks about wearing a medical alert bracelet or carrying a medical information card.
Yeah, it's important for first responders to have that information.
Absolutely, in case of emergency.
And they even mention knowing basic first aid and CPR.
It's a good skill to have.
It is.
Yeah.
You never know when you might need it.
Not just for yourself, but for someone you might encounter on the road.
It's about being prepared to help.
The article even suggests adding things like duct tape and zip ties to your toolkit.
For those MacGyver moments.
I love it.
When you need a temporary fix.
Got to be resourceful out there.
You do. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have, from gearing up and bike maintenance to planning the route packing smart and preparing yourself mentally and physically.
It's all about making sure you have a safe and enjoyable trip.
But what does it all mean as you gear up for this adventure?
It means you're not just going for a ride.
Yeah.
You're embarking on a journey.
Yeah, I like that.
And you've got the knowledge and the tools to do it safely and enjoyably.
It's about making safety a habit.
It is. It's not a chore.
Right.
It's part of the joy of riding.
That's what it's all about.
That freedom of the open road.
Now that we've covered all the practical stuff, what about the fun part?
Okay.
Those dream routes.
Let's hear it.
Those scenic highways.
Where are you hoping to explore?
I've always wanted to ride the Pacific Coast Highway.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Cruising along the coast. Ocean on one side. Redwoods on the other.
Sounds amazing.
Pure bliss.
It's definitely a bucket list ride.
And those winding roads.
They can be a bit challenging, though.
Oh, for sure. Safety first.
Especially on a long trip.
But speaking of thrilling rides, I've also got my eye on the Tail of the Dragon.
I've heard of that one.
In North Carolina.
What is it, like 318 curves and 11 miles?
It's a rider's paradise.
Wow. That's intense.
It's a challenge for sure.
But it sounds like the reward is worth it.
You've got to pace yourself.
Right.
Stay hydrated, take breaks.
Now for something completely different.
Yeah.
What about Route 66?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's iconic. So much history.
And those classic American diners?
Can't beat a burger and milkshake.
It's a journey through time.
It is. Slow down, enjoy the scenery.
Connect with the spirit of adventure.
That's what motorcycling is all about.
So many incredible routes out there.
There are each with its own charm and challenges.
Sounds like we've both got some epic rides planned.
I think so. Maybe we'll cross paths out there.
That would be awesome.
Safe travels.
You too.
May your journeys be filled with adventure.
And unforgettable memories.
Ride safe, ride smart, ride often.
That's the best advice. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Into motorcycle safety for long rides.
It was fun.
And if you need a refresher,
be
sure to check out that article.
The Ultimate Motorcycle Safety Checklist for Long Rides.
By K.R. Andre.
It's a great resource.
Until next time.
Keep the rubber side down.
And the adventure alive.